My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet and went on with our, vacation. We actually went to another location after that, and then eventually went home and went about our life.
And you may have been
Wait for it.
drunk in that video, correct?
There's a possibility of that, yes, sir.
Yeah.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint. I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Right.
Do you remember the first time that he physically hit you?
Here we
Yes.
go.
Please tell the jury about it.
It was it's seemingly so stupid, so insignificant. Oh, never forget it. It changed my life. I was sitting on the couch and we were talking. We were having a normal conversation, just there was no fighting, no argument, nothing.
What?
And he was drinking, and I didn't realize at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar of cocaine out on the table. I realize that sounds weird, but it's like an actual vintage jar of it.
Look at Johnny.
And I asked him about the tattoo he has on his arm, and I said, "What does it say?" And he said it says wino. It says wino, and I didn't see that. I thought he was joking because it didn't look like it said that at all, and I laughed.
Okay.
It was that simple. I just laughed because I thought he was joking, and slapped me across the face. And I laughed. I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, this must be a joke. He said, "You think it's so funny? You think it's funny? You think you're a funny?" And he slapped me again.
Again?
It was clear it wasn't a joke anymore, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him. I didn't say anything. I didn't react. I didn't move or freak out or defend myself or say, "What are you doing? You're crazy." I just stared at him because I didn't know what else to do. And he slaps me one more time.
What?
Hard.
3.
I lose my balance, all of a sudden realizing that the worst thing has just happened to me that could possibly happen to you. I realized that I wish so much he had said he was joking, because it didn't hurt. It didn't physically hurt me. I was
Keep in mind, she's looking at the jury right now. She keeps looking at the jury. Remember this.
just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have to figure out what I need to do? Because God, did he just hit me? No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. Before I know it, he starts crying.
What?
And, I had never seen an adult man cry.
You did move in with him.
What?
Objection leading. Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay.
He's my co-star.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
You've never seen Johnny cry. Bro, what man doesn't cry, by the way?
Say. Objection, hearsay. Her communications are hearsay.
I tried to say that it was fine.
Objection,
that
hearsay.
I found out that he was in a hotel room with Paul Bettany.
Objection, hearsay.
Did you have with Lily Rose without saying anything she said?
Objection, hearsay. Objection leading.
If we approach and then kids in the car
Camille!
on the street, you need to
Objection,
move
hearsay. That calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
When he finished filming, the plan was to do
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Oh!
form compound.
And then you saw, then you
She
went
gave up at that point, guys. She gave up.
in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
What? I remember this.
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his
Objection.
pants, didn't he?
What?
I think I would remember.
Relevance.
Mr. Depp penis.
I'll allow.
What's
Next question.
happening?
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Yo.
Situation of the fecal matter on the bed,
Ooh.
and I and she just tried to blame it on the dogs. My initial response to that was, I mean, I laughed. Then the fecal
Wow.
delivery,
Fecal delivery.
and saying that it was the dogs. And I'm sorry, I could not agree with her. I'd lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. It was not
Wow.
dogs.
I'm really sorry, but who will think it's gonna get into your unit because it saw some scratches on the door, like what, 4 inches above the door? Because the dog was scratching the door, was trying to get in, and they thought about someone trying to break into their unit. I said, in my head, I was like, you think someone's trying to get into your unit? There's scratches like 4 inches above the floor and your door. That was the dog trying to get into the unit.
Oh my God.
They were so afraid. Oh, someone's trying to get into my unit. They're like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room to make sure no one was there. Yep, that's Tuesday.
But in fact, you don't recall seeing Amber Heard on May 24th, correct?
I don't remember. I don't even remember what I got for breakfast.
Okay. Well,
Yes, I'm not going to say no because she was really always nice.
all right, this is my last.
Be nice.
All right, this is my last question. You testified in response to Mr. Presidio's questions that you testified truthfully in all of these occasions. Did you testify truthfully to everything that you testified in response to my questions today?
You haven't have changed your eyebrows or your eyelashes are not even, or I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking at their eyes, and I'm not looking for anything else. But if I see something, I will probably will remember.
Shit. Was shit on the bed, guys. And they say that's Amber shit on the bed. For revenge.
All right. That was a first. I'm sorry.
I will say, Your Honor, that is the most bizarre deposition.
Okay. All right. I was just gonna say I've just never seen that before. I've seen a lot of things, but I've just never seen.
driving that.
Yeah, that did it.
Rocky's boyfriend, who was some sort of chef, he asked her what she would like for him to cook.
Aw.
That's hearsay, I guess.
Go ahead.
He knew
I'm
it.
not just sure it's offered for the truth of
He's
the matter
learning.
asserted.
He got it. That was
Okay. All right. Well then.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Let me put it a different way. Mr. Drew, who was a chef, which I don't believe is hearsay, Mr. Drew had made Mexican food Ms. Heard's favorite. Is that better?
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
What up, Logan?
That's a strange question. Paul Bettany is a good friend. Yes.
You've done drugs with him.
Yes, I have.
Cocaine, right?
Cocaine, yes.
Alcohol,
Alcohol, yes.
Do
pills,
drugs, kids.
including Xanax and
Do
Adderall,
drugs,
right?
guys.
That I'm not so sure of.
If you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for
can't-
speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, you know this You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer it.
Can you restate the question?
Were you aware that Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys were aware that Amber Heard was going in to seek a TRO on May 27th?
I don't think I understand the question. I don't think so, no.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Do you
complicated
know whether Blair Burke, one of Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys, had a very close relationship with TMZ at that time?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Ooh.
Overruled. If he knows.
I was not aware of that.
In fact, I'm not sure where you are.
Okay. Day
Sorry.
2, page 293. It's on page 32 of the document.
Line 22, I think, is the issue.
Page 32, line 22. Thank you, Your Honor.
What?
Line 22.
Line
Okay.
22 on page 32.
Yes.
Too many numbers. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
that's right. Thank you.
question, the night before.
Yo, what's happening? We got some footage here, guys. We got some footage right here. Guys, by the way, if you haven't dropped those reactions, make sure you do so. I will give you a shout out. Thank you, Maze, Kelmu, thank you, Amy. Oh, shit. Wait, who's filming? Is Amber? Oh, shit. That's Amber filming, right? What is he doing?
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you.
He's hiding the camera.
Oh,
Mega pint. There's the mega
Have you
pint.
drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
So what happened there?
No.
Sneaky, huh?
You were smashing.
Bye.
I think she's antagonizing him or something. Maybe she did something and then he got really angry and she was recording it. I think that's what it looks like.
We have a date for.
What's your thoughts?
For this.
The mega
That's
pint.
your house.
Illegally recorded tape.
The mega pint. What do you say?
Do we have a date or metadata or anything on that?
Why don't we, since you have some questions about it, why don't we watch it again?
Oh, I've
Play
seen
it
it.
again,
I
please,
mean,
Michelle. Okay, you know what, we don't have to do that.
That's good.
We don't have to do that.
myself, but so yes.
You didn't react.
I did assault a couple of cabinets, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
And
as you can see, I think, no.
Now, the video of Mr. Depp beating up some kitchen cabinets, you admit that you took that video, correct?
Yes, I did.
Right. And you acknowledge that the video was released online the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
I believe it was, yes.
But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you learned about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify that about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX. Yes?
I don't know if that I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't
heard
come from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
That one was good.
Right. And you heard
That one
Mr.
was
Tremaine
really good.
testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband. Yes?
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
It's the cabinet video that you captured of your then husband. Yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video, and
The
yes,
cabinet
that was
video-
my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial. Did you hear that?
Ooh.
The video that that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Heard. Let's just
So you're
focus on
asking me
Mr.
to
Tremaine.
repeat his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under
I
oath.
heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me. I
Ms.
mean,
Heard,
come from me.
Ms. Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So that
if I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
That you
Camila's happy right now because she's literally ruining everything herself. Thank you, May, for the 500 stars. I appreciate you.
testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that? Right. You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Wow.
Again, you're very wrong.
Now, I'm going to start at the very beginning here. You were asked by Ms. Vasquez about why Mr. Depp won't or can't look you in the eye. And she read out, or she played a tape in which Mr. Depp said, "You will not see my eyes again." Do you recall that?
I maintain
What was that?
I did not do this thing at the door. I do remember, I did maintain you.
You're smiling as that audio recording is being played in your deposition, aren't you, Ms. Heard?
Not smiling because of the audio. I'm smiling because of what's happening around me.
You even roll your eyes at one point, don't you?
I was sitting opposite a whole table full of lawyers who were snickering, laughing, and rolling their eyes at me while I was talking.
Nice team.
Is there something amusing about kicking a door into your husband's head?
No, I was rolling my eyes and commenting on what I was experiencing at that time in recounting the
Is
story.
there something amusing to you about punching your husband in the jaw?
That is not what I was smiling about, and no, I do not think it's amusing.
You saw her on the stand. We all did. She gave the performance of her life, telling you story after story of abuse.
Shit.
And not just any abuse, but extravagant, over the
These guys are the closing statements right here, and Camille delivered it perfectly. And guys, don't forget Doppler's reactions. Thank you so much, Tanisa, for the reaction, Beatless, thank you for the reaction, and Allison for the follow.
top
Thanks so much.
allegations of abuse that would be truly brutal, horrific, if true. You either believe all of it, or you believe none of it. Either she's telling the truth, including in her most extreme allegations, or she's lying. Either she was raped by a bottle, or she's the sort of person who would get on the stand in this courtroom and lie to you and the world about being raped? And if she would lie about that, what wouldn't she lie about?
Wow. Guys, if you haven't, make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, we're waiting for the verdicts, guys. This is the top moments that me and my editors have combined, guys, for y'all. One of the top moments for verdicts. Thanks for the stars. I appreciate y'all. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I'll give you those shout outs in a second. What do you guys think about this? What's your thoughts, guys? Here's the live one version of the verdict watch. Waiting for right now.
Outlandish, outrageous stories of me committing these things and living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to bring the truth out. So this is not easy for any of us. I know that. But no matter what happens, I did get here, and I did tell the truth, and I have spoken up for what I've been
experiencing,
carrying on my back.
Yeah.
Reluctantly for 6 years.
You testified, and I wrote it down before lunch. You said, when Ms. Myers asked you something about, how does it feel to make you, or how does it feel to be here? You said, I've been living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to get the truth out. Remember saying that?
Yes.
You also said, I've spoken up for what I've been carrying on my back. Something to that effect. You remember saying that?
Yes.
And you've claimed several times in this proceeding, Mr. Depp, that this trial is your first chance to tell your story, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
But that's just not true, is it, Mr. Depp? That's not true.
No, for me it is true.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The fact is, Mr. Depp, when Dan Wooten wrote an article that was published in The Sun calling you a wife beater, you brought a lawsuit against The Sun in June of 2018, correct?
Yes, I brought
And that was 6 months before Miss Heard ever wrote her op-ed, correct?
I don't know.
And in the summer of 2020, there was a several-week trial in London against The Sun, correct?
Miss Heard was not a party to that trial, was she?
Not my question, Mr. Depp. In the article that The Sun wrote that you sued over, you sued for Mr. Wooten calling you a wife beater, correct?
Objection asked and answered. Sustained. Next question.
And in the trial that you subsequently brought, you called a lot of witnesses, right?
I don't know what a lot is. I don't know.
Many people testified on both sides of the trial, correct?
Yes, many people.
And many exhibits were introduced, correct?
Like a trial, yes.
And you, just like in this trial, you were on the stand for several days in that trial, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And that trial involved the same factual issues that you are litigating here, which is whether you committed domestic abuse against Amber Heard.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
You brought that case against The Sun because you were angry at The Sun for calling you a wife beater, correct?
What is this lawyer?
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good reason.
And you went through that trial in London, correct?
I did indeed, yes.
Mr. Depp, you've already had a chance to tell your story, haven't you?
No, there were great limitations in the UK trial.
Wow.
All right, so that was one of Amber Heard's attorneys, Ben Rottenberg, questioning Johnny Depp on the stand.
This is not obviously the exact one I used to carry, but I used to carry it with me all the time. Sometimes this pink is sometimes a little bit more purple of a hue, and sometimes the kits are 3 colors. You can get them in 3 or 4 colors. Sometimes they have even more. But the idea is that you want to counteract whatever color you're working with on the bruise. So the first day of bruising, well, the immediate is red. Red is what shows up right away, so you want to go with the opposite on the color wheel by dabbing on a bit of the green or something to counteract thread. After a day or two, you get more purple in a bruise. So you'd obviously have to go with more of the red tones, the orange tones here. Day 2 for me was always the trickiest because day 2 just, I feel like, well, day 1 and day 2 are hardest for me because that's when you get the most blues and purples and you have to deal with the sensitivity. Bruises don't like to be touched. That's the whole point. So that's the trickiest part, but after a few days that becomes more of that blue becomes more of a brown, yellowish browns, like a 5-7 days in becomes more of a yellow green, and then fades into a brown and then into your skin. And whatever color you're working with in the bruise, you want to go opposite color on the color wheel. The opposite, in the first couple of days when you have more of the typical bruise color, the blues and the purples, you want to go more of the orange on the color wheel as opposed to the greens that you start with. And then it progresses from there. I also noticed that bruising on your face tends to heal a lot faster than, at least for me, it was faster healing than bruises on my body, or at least it seemed like that to me. And a nose is pretty much unrecognizable after a day or two, depending on how much you ice it. Lips are the hardest because they crack and bleed, of course, but it's easy to hide with lipstick if you're a woman, or if you wear lipstick, I suppose.
Now, we heard some testimony of people in the week of May 21st to 27th saying that you didn't wear a stitch of makeup. Oh, was that true?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. They just don't know what they're talking about. I always wear makeup.
Okay. You always wear
Oh my God.
makeup?
It's part of my bathroom routine in the morning. Wash my face. I put on moisturizer. My moisturizer has tinted foundation in it, and I'm certainly not going to walk around LA with bruises on my face.
Okay.
Guys, well, you know what? Tell me your thoughts. If you haven't had it, guys, hit those reactions. Thank you, Hamid, for reaction. Tuan, Anto as well with reaction. Cleve, Louise, Elizabeth, Ott with the follows. I appreciate you guys as well. Hit those, guys. Make sure you join the family. All right, we're waiting for the verdicts, and you know what? I'll be the first one in for you guys. All right, make sure you are keeping your eyes open on the page, guys. I'll see you guys in a bit. Tell me your thoughts again. Let's discuss, and I'll see y'all later. Yeah, those are our top moments, me and my editors, for the situation, and we're waiting. I'll see y'all later. Love y'all, and peace.